You're listening to the Codependent Millennial Podcast with Sophie Shilo, episode 36, The 3 Secrets That Are Missing from Your New Year's Ritual. My loves, before we start the episode today, I want to just say thank you. I started my coaching practice in January of this year, almost exactly 12 months ago, and it's just been 12 months of me feeling immense and unending gratitude all day, every day, so thank you. Thank you for being here, thank you for listening, thank you for showing up for yourselves and taking care of yourselves. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to support you and to contribute to your life in some small way. It means so much to me, and I need you to know that. There are thousands and thousands of you listening, which is absolutely fucking crazy, and I don't know all of you, but I love you so much, and I hope you know that. I want to thank all of my clients as well. I want to thank the brave people who work with me one-on-one and who are in my group mentorship. I want to thank all of you for trusting me to help you on your journeys. I know that sounds cliche, but I take it so seriously, and I'm so appreciative to you. I want to thank you for allowing me to do what I love most. I want to thank you for showing up in ways that inspire me every single day. Like I said, I do not take the responsibilities of a coach lightly, and it means so much to me that you allow me to be part of your lives. I adore you all. So today I want to share with you the 3 secrets that will completely change the game for you when you set goals of any kind around the new year or any other time. Because of course, while this is an exciting time to assess your life and make resolutions and intentions, the magic that seems to surround the new year can just be created by you in any moment, whenever you want. You never have to wait, and every new moment in your life can be a new start if you want it to be. Remember, you make the rules in your life, the calendar doesn't do that. This episode is going to be a quick one, I think. These 3 secrets are intended to support you in whatever kind of New Year's ritual you like to do, or in whatever kind of goal-setting process you like to do anyways. So let's get into it. Secret number 1. Trying to get it right will get you nowhere. Failing needs to be your goal. Celebrate your failures, celebrate your attempts, celebrate what you learn, and celebrate yourself for being brave enough to actually be willing to commit to your goal past your first failure. This is so important. A lot of us set goals with the expectation of success, or expectation of success soon after we set the goal, or expectation of success after the first 1, 2, 3 attempts. And when that's not what happens, instead of continuing on because we expected failure and we planned for it and we were excited to learn from it, we stop and we decide that the failure was an indication that we couldn't actually achieve the goal, or that it wasn't really possible for us, and that's never, ever true. If what you want is worthwhile at all, trust me, failure will be a necessary part of creating it. So remember that ahead of time, and don't make failure mean that what you want isn't available to you, because like I said, that's not true. So as always, I have some journaling prompts for you guys for all of these secrets. For this one, for secret number 1, what stories are you currently telling yourself about failure that are hindering you from taking the next step on your path? What stories and thoughts do you want to focus on instead? Secret number 2, rather than resenting yourself because you're telling yourself a story about how you inherently aren't capable of reaching your goal, just decide that who and how you are is not in contrast with you getting what you want, but rather a path to it in a way that works for you. It's such a cliche, but your path is not going to look like anyone else's, and that's the whole point. That's beautiful. And any story that you tell yourself about why you can't have what you want because of something about you, whatever that may be, like whatever inherent trait you think is the problem, that story is what's in the way, not the attribute or the quality or perceived deficiency that you think is the problem. What if you decided to believe that you, exactly the way you are now, are capable and deserving and worthy and allowed to create and have and enjoy what you want? Try it on. Journal about it. I'll say that one more time. What if you decided to believe that you, exactly the way you are now, are capable and deserving and worthy and allowed to create and have and enjoy what you want? It's an exciting thing to think about. Secret number 3, you're trying to solve rather than become. A client of mine actually said this yesterday in a session we had. She said, I'm trying to solve rather than become. And I got chills and I just stopped dead in my tracks. I was like mind blown when she said this. She was talking about this pattern that she observed in herself. I'm not saying a pattern she has, I'm saying a pattern she observed in herself of setting goals, getting really excited, not meeting the goal in the timeline that she wanted, and then feeling foolish for having it and believing that she could actually do it. Throughout the session, she realized that she was focusing more on solving some imagined problem rather than becoming the person who had what it was she was trying to create. I'm going to say that again. A lot of times in these podcasts, I realize that I can kind of speak like a coach and it's hard to understand. So I'm going to say that again because it's really important. She was focusing more on solving an imaginary problem, something that wasn't actually an issue, instead of focusing on becoming the person she'll be when she has what she's trying to create. So my question for you is, are you trying to find and solve problems that aren't actually problems instead of just focusing on becoming the person who already has what you want? We all want to know how it's done before it's done. It's natural human desire to want to know how it's done before it's done. You want to know how it's done before you discover how it's done by doing it. The answer you want to have access to before you take action is something you only get to know after you've lived into it, after you've discovered the answer by living into it. It's a total paradox, of course. I get it. It's frustrating. It's also hilarious and perfect. It really is perfect, even though I know it's so annoying. But the solution is just to start doing. Which, again, I know is infuriating to hear if you're where you consider to be step 1. I get it. I was there too. I still am in so many ways, but just trust me, the solution is to start doing. Again, you guys have heard me say this before. If you've been listening to the podcast for a while, you've heard me say clarity comes from engagement. Write that everywhere. The clarity that I'm searching for will come when I start engaging. Take massive action. You can read lots and lots and lots about that concept of massive action, but you'd be better served not reading about it and just starting. Just start taking action, taking small steps. Massive action doesn't have to mean seismic activity. Like, it doesn't have to mean getting on television, like whatever. Again, that's another great journaling question. What stories are you telling yourself about what your action has to look like? What stories are you telling yourself about that are actually holding you back because they seem so daunting or so frightening or so insurmountable or so unattainable? If those stories aren't serving you, which they're clearly not, then stop believing them, stop perpetuating that narrative, stop telling yourself those stories. So I really want to encourage you to expect failure along the way, to celebrate it when you experience it, to focus on becoming who you're becoming. Don't pit yourself and your inherent characteristics against your goal. These are the keys. Okay, actually, there are 4 secrets, you guys. I need to talk about celebration as well. We are discouraged from celebrating things that are actually like 1,000,000% worth celebrating. I want to tell you that your resistance to celebrating yourself for things that you think are basic or things that should be taken for granted is not helping you do more. It's holding you back. What are some things that you deserve to recognize, acknowledge, and celebrate yourself for that you've been ignoring or downplaying or telling yourself isn't good enough? Super, super, super important questions. Of course, it's also important for you to ask yourself, what are the different ways that I can celebrate myself in meaningful ways that are meaningful to me, not that I think are meaningful to others or not that I think I should be doing, but like, what is a really meaningful way for me to recognize, acknowledge, and celebrate myself for these things that I've been taking for granted, for these things that I've been ignoring or downplaying. Very, very important element in your goal cultivation practice. Absolutely. Those are my secrets, everyone. Again, whatever method you use to set goals, don't do it without these principles. If you notice self-judgment, resentment, anxiety, fear, or doubt come up for you when you're setting goals, when you're achieving them, just come back to these principles, review them, really answer the questions, do the journaling work, and never, ever, ever stop pouring on the self-love, the gratitude, the encouragement, the celebration, the acknowledgement, all of that. What you want is yours for the creating. Happy New Year. If you have goals that you want to achieve without being cruel to yourself along the way, and if you want to live a beautiful, liberated, codependency-free life in 2021 and beyond, let's talk. Go to codependentmillennial.com and apply to work with me one-on-one. After you fill out the application so that I can get some basic information about your goals and where you are in your life, we'll have a chat to talk about your individual needs, and we'll see if we're a perfect fit to get you the life you've been dreaming of. Again, to fill out that application, all you need to do is visit codependentmillennial.com, click on the Work With Me link in the menu, and any of the buttons on that page will take you to the application. I hope you have the most beautiful New Year's Eve. I'm wishing you a year full of love and happiness and fun and well-being and good health, and I'll talk to you soon. If you liked what you heard in this episode, join me over on Instagram at Codependent Millennial for more tips on how to move beyond codependency and build a life you truly love.